How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading whether the price is going up or down. Over on the Dixie for the daily, we did push forward. We are above our 300 EMA. That is positive. That's that black line. If we continue ahead of it, then we could continue to see a bullish bounce. I would watch for a higher high. We could fill this gap and still get rejected, so watch for that as well. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is falling. VWAP does want to break bearish. Momentum is falling, and money flow is pulling back. The reason we cover this is, remember, Dixie and Bitcoin usually are inversely related, but with everything we had with the FOMC meeting, that kind of may bring the relation back eventually. So we will possibly see that at some point. That's something we will want to watch. Over on dominance, we are seeing a push up. This means Bitcoin did better than altcoins. So momentum is pushing forward, VWAP's gaining strength, money flow is pushing up, stochastic and RSI do want to bounce. This does look positive. We could see dominance continue to increase, which would mean Bitcoin would continue to do better against altcoins. Over on total for the daily, we are starting to round away. We did break that golden pocket bottom, and we did try to break our 602, so hopefully you capitalize on that. We did push down to that 250 EMA, and we are making a bounce. This could be a long lower shadow candle where we have a really big long lower shadow that shows sellers tried to sell off, but buyers did step in at some point. If we can continue and get a higher high from here on price above that golden pocket, then we could see a push to the 674. However, if we follow this with a red candle, we're likely going to break that support, and we could fill our wick and continue lower. RSI is pulling back, stochastic is falling, momentum is pulling back, VWAP is favoring bearish, and money flow does want to break down, so I would exercise caution. Over on the 4-hour, we do have a possible rounding bottom. This could help push us up, providing the next green candle is higher than that red candle. If we start to pull back here and we break that 602, then we will see further bearish momentum. VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is pushing down, money flow is trying to break bullish, but if that VWAP rejects, we will see money flow follow. Stochastic and RSI are trying to push up, so that is positive. That can continue to help us run forward. Over on the 2-hour, we are continuing to run forward. Stochastic's pushing up, RSI is pushing up. VWAP is in the bullish territory with consistent highs and higher lows. Momentum does have a double green dot, suggesting it wants to go further up. So this all is positive and can help push us up. As momentum and VWAP push up, remember that money flow can go from red to green, and we could see a trend reversal, which would strengthen higher time frames. Over on the 1-hour, stochastic does want to round, RSI is pulling back, VWAP does want to sell off, momentum is rounding, and money flow is starting to sell off as a result, so I would exercise caution. If VWAP and momentum continue to pull back here, money flow will start to weaken, and we will see those higher time frames continue to sell off. And as total does lead our altcoins, that's the market cap of our altcoins, we would see our altcoins sell off as well. Over on Bitcoin, our futures, we did try to push up to that 65.5 like we said we could, but we did not hold. This could be a long upper shadow, so I would exercise caution. With the way total looks, we could see our altcoins push up and Bitcoin kind of lose a little. Our momentum is starting to favor more toward the bearish territory. If we continue to break, I would watch. That VWAP is getting lower lows with lower highs, so if that momentum does break through that neutral, money flow will continue lower and price action would follow. Stochastic does want to drop down. We have orange above blue. RSI is dropping, so overall we do have bearish momentum here. Over on our 4-hour, we did break that 300 EMA, then we pushed up and held. If we can stay above this EMA, then we could continue forward. However, if we break this EMA again, it's likely we would get lower highs with lower lows and continue a bearish trend that could push that 61.7 and possibly lower. Remember, we do still have that 58K gap. RSI is trying to push up, stochastic is gaining strength. VWAP is in a bullish trend with higher highs and higher lows. Momentum is pushing with a double green dot. This all is positive. If VWAP can continue to gain above that neutral, momentum will continue further, money flow will gain strength, and that would push the 4-hour higher and help strengthen that daily. I would watch the lower time frames to see if that's possible. Over on the 2-hour, we did bounce off that EMA as well. That gave the 4-hour the possibility to run up. Stochastic is pushing up, RSI is pushing forward, VWAP does have higher highs and higher lows, momentum is gaining strength, so we do look positive. I would just exercise caution with this long upper shadow candle. Over on the 1-hour, we also have a gap below it, so I would exercise caution. Remember, gaps tend to fill. They have an 80% probability. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is starting to pull back. VWAP does have a higher high, but starting to pull back, so watch if it breaks neutral and cannot reclaim bullish momentum. If that happens, momentum will fall. Money flow would continue to favor bearish, and we would continue to sell off. However, if that VWAP can stay above that neutral, momentum could break neutral and money flow could start to push up over the next few hours. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we do have a potential double top. We did get that break for our flag. We pretty much got the full move down, so we will delete that. Hopefully you were watching for that and you got some sort of an accumulation, because I believe in DCA in and DCA out. Our momentum does want to round away. RSI is pulling back, stochastic is pushing down. VWAP has lower lows and lower highs, so we are in a bearish trend, bringing momentum down. If this continues, money flow will break down and price action will follow, and we could fill that wick. Over on the 4-hour, we did break that 300 EMA, but we did push forward. We are trying to hold above it. If we can continue forward from here and break our higher EMAs we just rejected, then we could continue a bullish trend. However, if we start rejecting these EMAs that are above us, then we will start to push down to our stronger EMAs, and then we could continue lower. Stochastic and RSI do want to push forward. Momentum is trying to gain strength with a double green dot. VWAP is trying to run up, and money flow is trying to gain strength. So overall, we do look positive. Over on the 2-hour, we do have a long upper shadow. Remember, that shows buyers trying to run up and sellers are starting to step in. Watch if this is followed by a strong red candle. If it is, we could continue lower and possibly see a lower low. If we get a lower low, then we could end up breaking down. VWAP is bullish, momentum's gaining strength. Money flow is trying to break neutral. Stochastic and RSI want to run up, so we do look positive. Again, just watch for some bearish momentum here. Over on the 1-hour, we do have a very strong run up that was in response to that quick run down. Remember, a quick move one way usually is retraced by a move the opposite way. VWAP does want to push down. That being said, we could retrace this down spurt here. Stochastic is rounding. RSI wants to pull back. VWAP is starting to push down. Momentum is starting to round, and money flow is bearish. So I would exercise caution. Just watch that VWAP. If it can stay above neutral, we could continue up. However, if that VWAP breaks that neutral, it's likely we would continue lower and start to weaken those higher time frames. Again, trying to fill that gapped area that we do have. Over on graph for the daily, we did bounce off that 16,316 area. So we do have a pretty solid bounce. This is a long lower shadow that could help push us up if followed by a strong green candle. Our VWAP is in a bearish trend. Momentum is breaking down. Money flow is selling off. Stochastic is dropping. And RSI is starting to follow. Over on the 4-hour, we do have a potential rounding bottom. Again, watch if we can get above that red candle and push forward. RSI is pushing up. Stochastic's gaining strength. VWAP does have a higher low, but struggling to gain significant highs. If that VWAP cannot gain significant momentum above that zero, momentum will start to continue to favor bearish. Money flow will favor bearish as well, and price action would break down as that VWAP needs strength if we're going to push up. Over on the 2-hour, stochastic is trying to run up. RSI is pushing forward. VWAP is trying to push up. We have higher lows with consistent highs. Momentum is gaining strength, and money flow does want to run forward, providing that VWAP can stay above that neutral. Over on the 1-hour, stochastic does want to round. RSI is starting to pull back. VWAP is getting higher highs. I would watch if we can get higher lows from here. Momentum could push up. Money flow could cross screen. We could get a trend reversal, and that would be able to give us potential to run to the 300 EMA. However, if that VWAP breaks that neutral and we see lower lows with rejecting highs, we could continue lower and start to break lower. Over on Ankr for the daily, we do have a long lower shadow candle here as well. We did hit that 2673 and we are trying to break that 2883, but we're struggling. I would watch again. If followed by a strong green candle, we could push up, but wicks do tend to fill too. RSI is pulling back. Stochastic is falling down. We have that orange above blue. VWAP does have lower highs with consistent lows, bringing momentum lower and causing money flow to sell off. So I would exercise caution there. Over on the 4-hour, we are trying to break that 2883. RSI is pushing up. Stochastic is gaining strength. VWAP is trying to break bullish. Momentum does have a double green dot, so that does want to push forward. If that VWAP can stay above neutral, momentum could gain strength and money flow could start to push forward. That would help strengthen the 4-hour and the daily, but I would watch out for this gap below us on the 2-hour. Remember, they have an 80% likelihood to fill. Stochastic is pushing up. RSI is gaining strength. Momentum is pushing forward with a double green dot, and money flow does want to gain strength. So we do look positive as the VWAP has higher lows with higher highs, so that is creating a bullish trend. Over on the 1-hour, we are struggling to break that resistance. Stochastic wants to round. RSI is pulling back. VWAP is starting to sell off. Money flow is bullish, but it's starting to round. So if VWAP breaks down, we will see money flow break down again. That would create a lower high on it, and we could see bearish momentum from there, as that would weaken our higher time frames. Over on XRP for the daily, we did push the bottom of our pattern, but we are still within it. That is positive. That could help push us forward. We will have to watch. RSI is pulling back. Stochastic does want to round. Momentum is rounding with a red dot. VWAP is breaking down, and money flow is starting to lose momentum. So I would exercise caution and watch those lower time frames. Over on the 4-hour, RSI is pushing up. VWAP's trying to gain strength. Momentum is pushing forward. Money flow does want to push up. So we do look like we're trying to make a bounce here and continue forward. Again, we need a rounding bottom where we break that yellow EMA and then continue forward if we're going to gain bullish momentum from here. Over on the 2-hour, we are starting to struggle with EMAs. RSI is trying to go flat. Stochastic does want to push up. If Stochastic can stay above 30, RSI could follow. VWAP does have a higher high very slightly and higher lows. If this can continue and we can stay above that neutral, momentum could continue forward and we could see a run further up and we could try to break up again. Remember, the whales do sometimes manipulate you, but if we do hit the top again and we do not break out, I would exercise caution because that would be a fourth touch to the top. On the 1-hour, we are rejecting our 300 EMA, so this is where you want to exercise caution. If we continue to reject this, we're likely going to invalidate our pattern, as we did get 3 touches to the top and we did not get a full break up. Stochastic does want to round, RSI is pulling back, VWAP is starting to round off, momentum is starting to round, and money flow does want to break down, so I would exercise caution. If that VWAP breaks neutral and does not hold above our neutral, we will see bearish momentum. So if that VWAP gets some lower lows with lower highs from here, we will see momentum round, money flow would sell off, and price action will follow, and that could make us break our 57 and 54 supports. Finally, on ALGO for the daily, if we'll flip, we did reject our pattern. We are trying to push lower, so I will delete this pattern, much like the rest of the market. If we do continue to see a sell-off and we get a red candle, we're likely going to continue to our next support. However, if we get a green candle, we could round up and push forward. VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is pushing down, money flow does want to sell off, Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is selling off, so the daily does not look very positive. Over on the 4-hour, we do have a rounding bottom. This is what you want to see on the rest of the market. If we can continue further from here, we could break that resistance and see a run up to that 300 EMA. If we get a higher high, then we could start to push forward. VWAP does want to break bullish, momentum has a double green dot, money flow is pushing up, Stochastic's trying to run up, and RSI is gaining strength. Over on the 2-hour, we are struggling with our resistance, so I would exercise caution. Our momentum is trying to push up. VWAP does have higher highs and higher lows. Money flow is pushing up, so we do look positive. If that VWAP can continue its momentum, we will continue to push forward. Over on the 1-hour, Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is pulling back. VWAP does have a higher high, and it's starting to round, so I would watch it. If we can stay above neutral, that will be positive. That will push us up. Momentum does want to gain strength, and that money flow is starting to creep its way up. So if VWAP stays bullish, we will see a trend reversal and we could start to strengthen higher time frames. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night.